This is part 2 of my 2K13 impressions, and I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm gonna get right into it. First up, let's discuss the AI behavior. I got to play against the AI for about 30 to 45 minutes, and I got to see what they were made of, what changes they made. First things first, I didn't notice any of that spin layup cheese from 2K12. You know what I'm talking about. Whenever they would drive the lane, they'd do a spin move, and they'd never really want to go up with it. They'd just do that, then stop, and then pass out to the three, and that spin move made everyone on your team get terrified and come into pain, and it was just annoying. I didn't see that happen one time in the 2K13 build that I got to play. I also didn't see any of that up and under cheese either in the same situations. When they're driving, they do the up and under cheese. I didn't see any up and under cheese at the end of the shot clock. So that's good news. So is there shot clock cheese? Well, I have to say I didn't really see that much shot clock cheese. I'm gonna have to experiment a little more, of course, when the game comes out. But one thing I noticed was that the AI didn't wait until the shot clock was counting down to 1. In 2K12, it seemed like they purposely waited until there was 1 second left and then shot the ball. In the build that I played of 2K13, the AI was trying to get shots quickly. If they had a shot open, they would take it. They were trying to attack. They weren't trying to wait until there was 1 second left on the clock to shoot it. So I didn't really see that many possessions from them at the end of the shot clock. Now, when I was playing other people, we were shot clock cheesing each other with the shot clock winding down. And it was pretty funny because when I got to talk to the developers and I mentioned the shot clock cheese, they all started laughing. They busted out laughing, and I remember Vinay was like, there's no such thing, no shot clock cheese. Users are just making errors at the end of the shot clock. They're jumping too early, they're getting antsy, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So they claim that there wasn't shot clock cheese in 2K12, so we're gonna have to bug them a little more. But this discussion led to some new information that I'm gonna share with you right now. They're adding in new sliders in 2K13. They didn't really go into great detail about what they're going to be adding, but we did talk about one thing, and it was contested shots. This discussion was interesting. They were debating when a defense affects a shot. Does a defense affect the shot if they're there before you take the shot? Or what about if they're right there in your face when you jump up in the air? Or what about if they're right there when you actually release the ball or are about to release the ball? So they're going to have 3 new sliders in all those situations that you can go up and down with. So depending on your experience with the game and how you think the defense should affect shots, you could say, okay, if the defense is there before I raise up for the shot, I want to raise that slider up. And then if the defense is there when I'm going in the air, then I want to raise it up or down. We're going to have the freedom to do that. So that was one of the things they discussed in terms of new sliders. They said there's going to be more, but that was really the only one they talked about with me. I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to share that. Now let me talk about the spacing. The spacing felt pretty good, especially on pick and rolls. In 2K12, I don't know what was wrong with the pick and roll, but when you would call for it with LB, your teammates would start crossing the lane. They would just mess up the flow of what you're doing. And even if you weren't running a pick and roll, if you were trying to get by your defender, a lot of times in 2K12, it felt like your other teammates were coming over into the paint. I didn't see any of that. It was looking nice. This pretty much leads me into the pick and roll discussion. The pick and rolls are much improved in 2K13. One thing I didn't see was that annoying thing that the AI did sometimes when you would run a pick and roll, where they would just completely ignore the pick and roll. They would move their feet so fast, there would be no collision at all. If you play 2K12, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't see that happen one time. Now, I did see them go through screens with contact fast, and that's okay because not every pick and roll is going to be great and it's going to work. Now, the picks that Kendrick Perkins sets are really impressive. I saw Mario Chalmers fall down on the ground from the hit that he took from Kendrick Perkins. I saw defenders getting confused. I saw defenders going the wrong way. The picks that Kendrick Perkins sets are amazing. So much space was created when Perkins set a screen, and I was really able to take advantage with Russell Westbrook. The only bad thing is that Kendrick Perkins isn't really a pick and roll scorer, but I'm sure players like Dwight Howard are going to have that same ability, so that's going to be deadly. And Kevin Garnett is probably going to have an even better ability. He's going to have the illegal screen ability. He's going to be giving you low blows. He's going to be cheesing out there on the court. But it's really, it's really nice to see the pick and roll game coming back, because the picks that Perkins was setting were amazing. So much better than anything that ever happened in 2K12 with the pick and roll game. Now let me talk about dribbling the ball off of people's feet. You remember in 2K12 it was annoying. On the fast break you take off, you dribble it off somebody's foot. In a half court setting you do a crossover, it dribbles off somebody's foot. I didn't see that happen at all in the 6 hours that I got to play the game. So I don't know if it's still there, but I didn't see it happen in the build that I played. Now let me talk about another new feature. It's being able to follow your own shot. When you're shooting the ball, I think if you point the left stick to the basket, after the shot, you'll follow it. And also, you'll kick your legs out. So I guess you kick your legs out to try to draw fouls, and I'll actually talk about fouls in a second. But that was something that wasn't in 2K12, and it was really interesting. You would see the AI sometimes kick out their leg, and I'm not really sure how it's going to work, but that's something new. Unfortunately, in the build that I played, there weren't really that many fouls. It was just like 2K12. You didn't go to the line much, even if there was contact. And that was one of the first things I talked about with the developers when I got to meet them. And they said that the build that we were playing didn't have the sliders for the fouls, and not to worry about it, because the build that they are currently working on, they said that people even think there's too many fouls in the version that they're playing upstairs. So we'll just have to wait and see when the game comes out if there's actually a lot of fouls in the game when you're attacking and you're getting hit, because in the build I played, it didn't look like that was going to be the case. It seemed like it was going to be the same old 2K with the fouls. What about the on-ball defense? It's much better than 2K12. You actually feel like you can stay in front of the people you're defending. In 2K12, it always felt like they could get by you if they wanted to. But in this game, in 2K13, the build that I played, it seemed like you had control. And there were a few instances where defenders got by you when you were there and you felt like it shouldn't happen, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I didn't really use the defensive shading mechanic much, but what I did find out is that you can't shade right away. You have to wait about a second or so. You have to get the offensive player under control, and then once you get them under control and you hold LT, then you can go ahead and shift your stance, but you can't just do it immediately. So let's say somebody passes the ball, you switch to guard that guy. You can't just immediately shade them. You have to wait about a second and a half. I want to talk about the physics, but this video is about to come to an end. So let me just talk about the physics with the on-ball defense. If you get up close to someone before they take their first dribble, you can really mess up what they're trying to do. If they take a shot, they're going to take a very bad shot. If they try to do a regular dribble, it's going to be hard for them to take that first 2 or 3 dribbles. It's really interesting, but it also works against you, because if you do the triple threat moves in those situations and they're really close up on you, you can blow right by that defender. So I had a lot of times Ronnie or anybody that I was playing, they were guarding me so close. And once I figured out how to do the triple threat moves out of that situation, I was driving baseline, driving to the paint, exploding off of these guys, because they were doing it to Wade and they were doing it to LeBron. And if you do that to Wade and LeBron, they can easily take that first step and it's over. So you gotta be careful with the kind of defense you play on certain players, because it's gonna make it too easy for them to get to the rim once they know that they can do that. I didn't know I could do that at first. So this video is almost over. Stay tuned for part 3. I'll start the discussion with the physics and continue my impressions. Thanks for watching.